So how do you handle a player like that? Like, I know you got Sharif Floyd here; he's got pretty good get off too, but different players.
Yeah, Sharif's a good example actually in terms of how fast he is off the ball. I mean, I think Gerald does a few more finesse type moves. Not that he's a finesse player; I'm not calling him that, but he's got a great arm over, quick swim moves. But they're both very fast off the ball. I think you just need to get in position quickly. Make sure that you've got your head back. Force a guy like that to run you over. Don't duck your head on him just because you're afraid of power. That's really how you have to deal with a guy like Gerald.
And Teddy here with the first year as an off-season starter.
Yep.
Have you noticed maybe some of the chemistry with the way protection has been working has improved? Or?
Yeah, he definitely has a better grasp of the offense, just as we all do. But him, it's just more experience overall in the NFL. We'll still have little mistakes today. We had a miscommunication between the two of us today. But the nice part about Teddy is we come over, we talk about it afterwards, and we get it straight. It won't happen again. He's an absolute pleasure to work with, and he's a great leader for this team.
How often do you work with Teddy, like off the field, when you're figuring out things about the offense?
Every once in a while in meetings, although we're generally broken down by position groups, so I'm usually with the offensive line, and then things can be communicated between the offensive line and quarterbacks, usually via the coaches or when we're out here on the practice field. So Teddy and I are constantly talking out here.
There's been a lot of talk about the VR system. Has that been useful for you at all in terms of protection? Or has that really been more about Teddy?
I haven't used it yet. I'm excited about it. I think it's a great concept, and I'm sure that technology will mature as time goes on. And there's definitely a place for it here.
Do you feel more comfortable that a player like Keith Farwell, is?
Yeah, of course.
Do you feel comfortable that he's involved in that kind of project?
Yeah, it's when a guy who's obviously been through the battles can vouch for it. It does go a long way.
And then, one of the issues of the offensive line last year probably had something to do with chemistry, with sort of all the rotation that they're having. There's still probably a big difference in terms of chemistry going into this year with Fusco moving, and then you have Mike Harris coming in. How do you resolve that after spending so much time with the same offensive line for so long?
You just watched it. You go out there and you work. You take a lot of reps, and you just continue to work and get better and get a feel for the guys you're playing next to. I don't think Brandon's flipping sides. There's a little bit of an adjustment, but it's not much. Brandon's an experienced player, on the interior offensive line. I think the bigger deal is getting Mike broken in at right guard. He's more used to playing tackle, obviously. I think he's played one game at guard. That was last year against the Bills when he had to come in. And the speed of the game changes from the outside to the inside. There's less time to react on the inside because things are so compressed. We obviously injuries are a part of the game. They can happen at any time, but right now I think we've got a good group out there, and guys are working.
And he's looked good so far, you think, throughout camp? Or?
Yeah, I'm not here to make assessments of other players, but I enjoy playing next to him. Let's put it that way.
Sure. And a couple years ago, you were talking to Robert Mace from Grantland. You said that you really liked sort of the simplicity of the way Musgrave set up the offense for you anyway. Have you noticed? I know it's your second year, but have you noticed maybe the same kind of simplicity, or has it grown a little bit more in terms of how the run game is?
Within specific techniques, we still keep it simple. I think our scheme and the way that we get in and out of plays can be a little bit complex, but we also have a great feel for it. That's why I think you see things run so much more smoothly with the ones as opposed to the twos and the threes. Generally your ones are your more experienced guys. They've been in the offensive system, and we're not, we can anticipate Teddy's calls. We know that if we have a killed play, based on a certain look, we know what the kill criteria is. We know that we're going to kill it when we get up to the line of scrimmage. We're not actually waiting for Teddy to do it before we've kind of flipped things in our minds. So in terms of what it does to a defense, I think it's complex for them, but for us, we're able to play fast and to attack because we know it.
Yeah, and I think it was either Davidson, I think you said it a couple of years ago, there were 4 different sort of running schemes that you were implementing. Has Davidson kept that with Turner?
We have a lot of similar calls and concepts. Let's put it that way.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
I know you've put an emphasis on pass protection of the line. Adrian Peterson's back, though. Do you feel like you have a little bit more latitude to put more emphasis on pass protection with Peterson back there, or do you got to make sure you not lose your focus?
No, we're focused on playing well in every facet. In terms of the emphasis on pass protection, that's done with the scheduling for practices. So, Coach Zimmer knows that we need to, and he's been vocal about us protecting Teddy better. We know that we need to do that, and he's put the time in out here by scheduling one-on-one periods, making sure that we're getting those looks so that we can actually work on that stuff here on the practice field. So for the offensive line, it's a point of emphasis, but really that's from the head coach on down.
And I know you play a little bit further away from the tackles, but that was a big issue that people pointed out last year, especially how Matt Khalil played. Do you have any sense of how he's improving or if he's improving?
I think he's definitely improving. Especially this past week or so, his sets have looked better. He's been out here, working his butt off before practice with JD and one of our consultants that was in, Hudson Hauk. And Hank, they're out here really early every single day working on his sets, making sure his weight is loaded right on his feet so he can be explosive out of his stance. And then working on getting good get-off. So I think he's looked a lot better recently.
And then Jerick McKinnon got a surprise run last year. Was it obviously it was different, but was it difficult to adapt to a different running style for both Jerick and Asiata instead of Adrian?
No, we block the offense. It's not about what players are in there.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Sully, real quick, just a couple more here. I missed the first part. Just thoughts on the offensive line or the gelling? I mean, what are your thoughts on how they're gelling together that first couple weeks here in training camp?
I think things are going well. Obviously, there's an adjustment period, breaking in new guys in new spots, but we're taking a lot of reps, run and pass game, and we're working hard.
Is that a little overrated, the whole gelling and chemistry of the offensive line when you got those same 5 guys, or is it pretty important just as far as communication goes out there?
I mean, it's incredibly important. Obviously, injuries are a part of the NFL. It's just the way the sport goes. It's very violent. So you have to be able to pull guys out and plug certain guys in, and you can't always control, the reasons for that. But ideally, you'd love to start with 5 guys and use those same 5 guys the entire season.
No doubt. First preseason game, you guys didn't play a lot, but looked pretty efficient, I suppose, on that first drive or two with the first team. Is there a couple good takeaways that you guys came out of that first game with?
Yeah, I thought we pass protected very well. We ran the ball effectively when we did. We would have liked to pick up the 4th down and score in the red zone, but it's preseason really week 0. It's not even week 1 yet.
Right, no doubt.
That's coming up this week in Tampa. So
no doubt. I talked to TJ Clemens, said, hey, when you got a question, who do you go to? Hands down, John Sully's the guy. You kind of embrace that veteran leader role behind the scenes in the playbook?
Well, yeah. Being in your 8th year and then also being a center, you feel like you're responsible for what's going on. Especially the mental aspect of the game. So you want to make sure everybody's on the same page. And, our young guys do a good job of coming to the veterans and asking questions. If TJ has a specific technique question, he should probably go to Phil Lodeholt because he's more familiar with what the tackles are doing. But in terms of the scheme overall, he can come to me or he can go to Phil or any of the older guys.
No doubt. One more practice to go down here in Mankato. 8th season, as you mentioned. Does this kind of, at the end here, the grind get a little bit mentally fatiguing for you guys?
Yeah, it's monotonous right now, frankly. And I'm sick of Linville Joseph and all of our defensive linemen.
Looking pretty good.
And, we're ready to block some other people that aren't, wearing purple and white jerseys.
No doubt. Hey, I think Kleinsasser will give you a little butt slap. You better go say hi to him.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Yep.